yeah, a lot of people will be wondering, are you two meeting just because, you're similar in age and, got a lot of, common stuff there, when you got into politics and stuff, or can Kiwis actually expect to see more deals between our two countries down the line? Because
my first question is, I wonder whether or not anyone ever asked Barack Obama and John Key if they met because they were of similar age. We, of course, have a higher proportion of men in politics. It's reality. Because two women meet, it's not simply because of their gender. Finland exports into New Zealand $199 million worth of exports. They have particular technology in companies like Nokia, biofuels, even basic industrial wares that we use in our buildings. You won't be aware that a large number of our elevators come out of Finland, agricultural machinery. New Zealand, on the other hand, is trading about $14 million worth, and it's mostly in wine and beef. There is huge potential between us. The EU FTA is a launch pad for that. But we need to make sure that as nations, we don't just simply go through the motions of a FTA ratification, but that as individual nations, we look for the opportunities to build on that economic agreement. So for me, this is timely. Next year, we're looking to progress that FTA. Our meeting today is a chance, alongside the Prime Minister's high-level trade delegation of significant industry leaders, we really leverage the economic opportunities between our two countries. Little would be known about the depth of that relationship or the potential of it, but it's our job to further it, regardless of our gender.
The Prime Minister give an example of her making a mistake, apologising for it properly and fixing it.
Mr. Speaker, there's been a number of occasions where we acknowledge that we will not have perfect responses. We've openly... Mr. Speaker, we've openly said that, for instance, MIQ was something that was very difficult at the time, and that there were people affected by it, and that we would do things differently were we ever confronted with that again. But, Mr. Speaker, I stand by the work that we've done as a government over this last year and over this past term. We've always made decisions that we believe to be in the best interests of New Zealand at the time.
Question number 5, Nicola Willis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
An earthquake here, Ryan. Quite a decent shake here.
All right.
But if you see things moving behind me...
Has it stopped,
the
Prime
beehive
Minister?
moves a little more than most.
Has it stopped, Prime Minister, or is it still going?
Yep, no, it's just stopped.
OK, and you're feeling safe and well to continue the interview?
No, we're fine, Ryan.
To Tova O'Brien, who wrote, quote, Jacinda Ardern is wrong about her own hate speech law, completely and utterly wrong. Not only is the Prime Minister wrong about the basic facts of the proposal, she is wrong to shut down debate on hate speech, end quote.
Mr. Speaker, I also disagree with that statement, and I also, as it happens, disagree with the member's statement on Twitter that somehow it will become illegal to call someone a Karen. That is absolutely incorrect, and I apologise. That means these laws will not protect that member from such a claim. Australia is well within its rights to deport individuals who break your laws. New Zealand does the same. But we have a simple request. Send back Kiwis, genuine Kiwis. Do not deport your people and your problems.
We deport non-citizens. New Zealanders who come here, people who are born in New Zealand, they'll have the opportunity to become citizens, to become residents and then become citizens as countries and nationals come here from all around the world.
I absolutely agree with Prime Minister Morrison that our relationship is based on respect, and we do have a respectful relationship, and that adds strength to it. But a value that New Zealanders also share with Australians are notions of fairness. I love a particular era of music that I was not here for, like the Beatles and Janis Joplin and Joni Mitchell and Nina Simone. Yeah. But I also love, some of New Zealand's really amazing artists. Like I like even a bit of drum and bass, Shapeshifter. I like Lord and Benny and some of our amazing artists. I've been known at almost every Labour event to have been, just for a throwback, to play a lot of Nisha Mystic.
Oh my goodness, guys, I'm sorry. We need to give another round of applause to Jacinda Ardern. I am so happy happy to have such an articulate, exciting, young, beautiful leader in our country.
You say now that it is inevitable that New Zealand will become a republic in your lifetime. Why do you say that?
I think even the Queen herself has observed and acknowledged the evolution over time in our relationships. In fact, when she came to New Zealand several decades ago, she herself acknowledged that the treaty between Indigenous New Zealanders, Māori, and the Crown had been imperfectly observed. That simple observation is still spoken of today because it demonstrated that she was reflecting back her observation of the reality and of New Zealanders' lives. And so certainly, and this is just simply my observation is that there will continue to be an evolution in our relationship. I don't believe it will be quick or soon, but over the course of my lifetime.
But how then and when? Because it's one thing to say, or you feel that that's the sense of direction, but how and when?
And this is one of, I think, for New Zealand, a major consideration, of course, is because we have complex arrangements. The Treaty of Waitangi, a very important founding document for Aotearoa New Zealand, signed between Māori and the Crown. This is why it's not a process I have any intent of instigating, but if and when it does occur, it will take time and it will need to be very carefully worked through. You're absolutely right. We believe we can achieve what we see. So for me, it's not only important to showcase what it is to be a mother in a leadership position, but also to lead differently, to leave. I'm a big believer that you can be an empathetic person and a kind person, but still a strong person. And I think it's important to show those different approaches to leadership as well.
Which is harder, being Prime Minister or being a new mum?
They are completely different roles. What I'm finding is they're working beautifully together.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is more pleasurable?
I get great joy from both, but I have said, because being Prime Minister, it is a privilege. As much as it is a difficult job, it is a privilege. But politics comes and goes, and when I'm done in politics, I will always be a mum. I believe that leading a country is the most privileged job anyone could ever have, but also one of the more challenging. You cannot and should not do it unless you have a full tank, plus a bit in reserve for those unexpected challenges. This summer, I had hoped to find a way to prepare not just for another year, but another term, because that is what this year requires. I have not been able to do that. And so today I'm announcing that I will not be seeking re-election, and that my term as Prime Minister will conclude no later than the 7th of February. This has been the most fulfilling 5.5 years of my life, but it has also had its challenges. Amongst an agenda focused on housing, child poverty, and climate change, we encountered a major biosecurity incursion, a domestic terror event, a major natural disaster, a global pandemic, and an economic crisis. The decisions that have had to be made have been continual and they have been weighty. But I'm not leaving because it was hard. Had that been the case, I probably would have departed 2 months into the job. I am leaving because with such a privileged role comes responsibility. The responsibility to know when you are the right person to lead and also when you are not.